All right, greetings everyone. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Well, this your brother Mahdi, Supreme X Family, CEO, Fard Money Network, and this is part of our asset morning that we try to do every day. We know we haven't been here in a couple mornings, but we also, if you're in our text blast, we always try to get you some good motivational, inspirational videos or information that could help inspire you to get through your day. But today I did have time to make a live stream, which our asset mornings are really based around. But we always look for good articles to find that could help us out or just expose the central banking system, right? Because what we are doing in Fard Money Network, we are exposing the central banking system, the dollar debt system, right? The real pyramid scheme that we haven't seen to get a grip on. We don't understand it, right? We don't understand it. So we have a article that came out, and if you're following us on Facebook, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, Fard Money. Make sure you go and subscribe to our main YouTube channel where a lot of this information is at. But we did this stream here on Instagram last night. So I thought about, if I took it to Instagram, I got to come and do it live. I got to come and do it on Facebook and on YouTube. So that's what we're doing. But this is very critical to what's happening. But it's more and more stuff is going to come out like this because we are seeing a shift away from this old banking system that is a outright scam. We got proof behind this. Here's more proof to what we say. Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and PNC Bank opt out of PPP loan forgiveness. Now, PPP, that is Paycheck Protection Program that the government put in place for the small business owners during the heart of the COVID-19, right? So small business owners was able to get payroll paychecks, and they might have got hundreds of $1,000s, $50,000, depending on how big their payroll was, right? I know a sister who got from this, she got what, like 100,000 or 75,000, I think, right? One of my homegirls, but I don't know who she got it from because it got to be paid back. Now, the agreement was for them to give out these loans and not have to pay them back in full. But Bank of America, which gave out the most PPP loans, right, they are opting out. So let's look at it. Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and PNC Bank have all passed on an SBA is Small Business Administration policy that would allow small business owners some relief. They opting out of this. Major banks have decided to opt out of a new process for getting Paycheck Protection Program loans forgiven directly from the Small Business Administration. The Intercept has learned, leaving their small business customers with no other recourse if the banks refuse to forgive loans or drag out the process. Bank of America, JP Morgan have all decided to opt out, according to emails shared with the Intercept. They are major players in the program, which Congress created to offer businesses loans to spend on payroll and other qualified expenses to help weather the shutdown. As of the end of May, JP Morgan Chase was the top PPP lender. Excuse me, I said Bank of America. It was JP Morgan was the top, which is the biggest bank in America, followed by Bank of America is number 2, and then PNC is number 11. All told, lenders representing just half of all outstanding PPP loan forgiveness applications have opted in, according to the SBA. PNC recently sent an email to Jesse, owner of professional training studio Unconventional Strength in Orlando, Florida, saying, considering we have already built a streamlined end-to-end digital portal and associated review process for your PPP forgiveness application, we will be opting out of using the SBA's forgiveness portal. Jesse still hasn't had his $5,000 PPP loan forgiven and was instead told by PNC that his correct maximum loan amount was just $917, leaving him on the hook for the rest. It's PNC's fault I got this money, he said. Now you guys want me to come back at me for it? Early in the pandemic, small business owners were urged to flock to the paycheck protection program. The loans were made with the promise that they would be forgiven and essentially turned into grants if used properly. But many small business owners have struggled to get their loans forgiven by the banks that issued them. Banks were incentivized to issue paycheck protection program loans through the fees they generated. But they don't receive any fees to push forgiveness through, and they have dragged their feet of the total PPP loans that have been issued. Less than half have been forgiven thus far. Now, this is deep now, because nobody in the White House is going to come out and say anything about this. See, your politicians are crooks. The banking system is a crook. America is a crook. But when we tell our people this, we can't seem to get a grip on the comprehension of what we're saying. See, it's stuff like this that proves that the banking system is a scam. The government told the small business owners to go and get involved in this program. I have people calling me, hey, Bro Supreme, man, they're giving out this. Why do you do it? You got a business? I'm like, yeah, my business online. We got a digital distribution, international global network. So I probably wouldn't qualify, but at the same time, in the midst of the pandemic, and now we thriving. I don't need no loan, right? We thrive. All I have to do is just make more calls, right? Make more videos. So our business is way simpler because we doing business at the speed of thought. We doing business. We ain't got no more than brick. Them was for more than brick type business, right? Mom and pop stores and stuff like that, which they needed the relief. Now we're going to go and show you where did the relief come from. See, all of this is a scam, man. We got to get this today because our freedom is tied to how we understand this banking system. Our freedom is tied to how we understand this banking system. So we're dealing with some real live crooks, right? We can't even water this down. This is deep. And I'm going hard on it like this because I was about multiple people. Have you heard about the grants that the banks, that the government giving out? Have you heard about the PPP loan? I'd have been inboxed that several times. I'd have even had somebody in my family tell me, hey, did you do this? You can get a loan for your business. You want to do that? Like, man, that's enough for no government. But we're going to show you where these loans come from, right? Where they get the money for this. They say they were supposed to do it from fees, right? But hold on. There's more to it than that. All right. In response, the Small Business Administration, the government agency tasked with running the program, announced in late July that it will offer small business owners who took out PPP loans of $150,000 or less a way to bypass intransigent banks and seek forgiveness directly from the agency. Congress had at one point late last year considered automatically forgiving all loans under $150,000, but it never followed through. See that? See, they talked about something. They get that out there. It's like a tricklet. They wave something out there for us, and then they never fall through. It never follow through with it. See that? But there was fine print in the SBA's recent announcement that many may have missed. Banks actually have to opt into the direct process for small business owners to access it. and at least 3 major ones have refused. Forcing lenders to opt into the process could have been disruptive, said SBA spokesperson Terrence D. Clark in an email. He noted that lenders continue to opt in, that the agency is conducting outreach to encourage them to participate. We speak to lenders daily, he said in a statement. SBA Associate Administration for the Office of Capital Assets, Patrick Kelly said, we encourage all lenders to opt in to this tested portal. Right? So go to the Intercept and get this whole article because there's more in it, but we're not going to go over all of it. Not going to read you to sleep. So listen, family, this thing is deep, but we want to show you where did they get the money to get it out. They say they supposed to got it from fees, but do we believe that? Do we believe that? They said they supposed to got it from fees. We're going to show you where they got it from, right? This thing here is so deep, family. And the minute we can understand this banking system and how the government, through the United States Treasury, work to enslave the people by the dollar, by their banking system, we can pretty much be awakened or be free, get financial freedom overnight. You really can't experience true financial freedom if you don't understand this. Why? Because you're only gonna do things for dollars. You might get a little wealth over here, get a little gold, silver, but you still won't understand the systematic dynamics of the banking system. See, it's systematic. It comes from the politicians through the treasuries, the Federal Reserve, then they issue out the cash through the banks. See, the cash was printed out of thin air. And now these business owners, they have to pay this back. But let's go and see where the country is headed. So let's look at this, right? Let's go and see where the country is headed. So now what we have here, now we have the United States debt clock, because this really where they got the money from. See, y'all remember when the pandemic first hit, President Trump took out the stimulus check that President Trump took out was what, 2 or 3 billion? It was 2 or 3 billion, right? That was the first one. The banks and the major corporations got the most of that cash. They gave us some stimulus checks worth what, $12,000? What, it was $2,200 the first one. Then the second one came back was $1,200. Do we remember this? See, that came from the Federal Reserve printing the money, because this is how the dollar is created. When the politicians say they need money, they need funding, they go to the United States Treasury, they make a bond, the Treasury make the bond, they get a bond to the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve sell the bond to the banks. We got to see this thing for what it is, family. You can go to Mike Maloney's page and watch The Hidden Secrets of Money. Episode 4, to be more frank with you, so you can get a better understanding. And you can also go to YouTube and type in Farrakhan, the conspiracy of the international bankers that he did way back in 1995 in Washington, D.C., the home of the Federal Reserve. That's where the headquarters of the Federal Reserve is, in Washington, D.C. That's the head of the snake. All of this stuff is being perpetrated around the whole planet. So you're dealing with 3 major banks saying they're going to do something. The Small Business Administration really don't know the trick, so they just throwed out something. They didn't force the banks to agree with it. It was in fine print that you might don't get relief. You might have to pay it back. See, all of this is a scam. The government said that they were going to relieve 150,000, but they can't control the banks. See, when they tell you they didn't force it, they letting you know they cannot control the central banks. The central banks is the real power in America, headed by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve can control them, but they're not going to never do that. So you look at the debt. Look at all the stimulus checks that came out. If you got the $2,200, you got the $1,200. You got to pay it back. Well, if you pay it in your lifetime, your children will pay it. Everybody goes into the debt. Every citizen, every baby born in America with a Social Security number goes into this debt. Goes into the national debt that's almost $29 trillion. But the simplicity of it is, why we don't have a lot of economic people that's supposed to be high sufficient in finance, high sufficient in economics, right? Why we don't hear them breaking down and talking about this debt? Because they don't have a way for you out. I'm going to tell you why. They know about it. And they know that the dollar going to fall. They don't have a way out. And some of them might don't believe it, though, because it's still an unseen reality that the dollar is going to one day fall, right? Because it hasn't happened yet. We still need the dollar to do what? Buy food, pay bills, rent, mortgage, car loans, phone bills. We still need it. The dollar right now is still the #1 reserve currency. That is true. But it is exactly what I just said. It is a currency. Currency. Right? Current. So it's supposed to flow. It's supposed to flow to you and flow out of your hands. It's not meant to save. That's why your banks ain't giving you nothing right now. They're not giving you nothing for holding cash in the bank. What are they giving you? 0.01%, 0.006%. What is that? That's nothing, right? But while we are doing this, and the reason we can talk about this and show you this, because we have a system that will pay you up to 12%, base 6% of your money back that you deposit in our bank. We found this. And what is it? Well, it's the world's first fully licensed, regulated, blockchain cryptocurrency bank. That's what we're bringing you. A lot of y'all see us do 3 streams. Yeah, I'm a networker, but you think we bringing you some type of MLM or network marketing deal. We're not bringing you that. That's not what we're bringing you. Do we have a referral plan? Yes, we have a referral plan, but everything has a referral plan. What doesn't have a referral plan? Name me anything that doesn't have a referral plan. But we refer people all the time. Look, we can get a lot of people, we can get a lot of black people to do a crate challenge. Well, we literally seeing people share this foolishness out, participate in this foolishness, right? And people are breaking their necks, backs, falling all crazy, right? I'm pretty sure somebody had to go to the hospital behind this crate challenge, right? They betting on it that you can't get over. All doing it. You got the celebrities doing it, influencers. They on YouTube, they on Instagram sharing it all over. Foolishness. See, we would share that. But an opportunity for you to get paid, you won't share that? You afraid of that? See, we see it all the time. We just share stuff. We share stuff that don't benefit us. That's why we are still part of that 85%. See, we can watch your activity and tell us you're still an 85%, right? Because there's certain activities that a 5%er won't do. I consider myself a 5%er. Not that I'm fully learned, but I just know some things that only 85% do. Like I'm not sharing no crate challenge, right? Because it does nothing for me. I'm not sharing anything that doesn't educate the people, that doesn't uplift the people, and that doesn't yield me some type of revenue because I am a business owner. That's right. It's all sport and play. See, we don't do that in Foreign Money Network. Yeah, we want to have a good time. Yeah, we've been having too much a damn good time in America. We've been over here for what? 466 years. We done had too much of a good time. We partying and we think sport and play too damn much. That's too much of it, right? So it exposes who is really the 85%ers and who really the 5%ers. See, the 5%ers expose the 10%ers. The 10%ers is keeping the American people dumbed down with stuff like crate challenges. While this is going on, while the debt is steadily climbing, while you got war talk with America, China, Iran, and Russia going on, we seeing our people get on crates and fall, busting their face. I haven't seen a white person do it yet. I think I seen one white person, but she was in a group of black folks following them. I ain't seen a white video on the crate challenge yet. Not saying that they don't have them, just haven't seen it yet, right? See, that's foolishness. That's foolishness. We supposed to, where are we at to talk about something that can uplift us, wake us up to this? See, the 5%ers expose the 10%, and we wake up the 85%. That's our job. That's our mission. Since we understand the tricks of the 10%, we expose the 10% and then strive to wake up the 85% all in one scenario. So I'm showing you this not just to teach you and show you the bank that we have. You would be smart to actually take a look at what we got, because we crypto exclusive, we crypto centric. You would be wise to text that number around at the bottom, or whoever shared this with you, get back with them. That would be a very smart move for you. But this ain't what this stream is about. That's part of this stream. The base and the focal point of this stream is this right here, what you see on the screen. Do you understand it? Do you study it? Are you thinking about it? Why? Because these bankers, these international bankers, the bloodsuckers of the poor, they have dumbed the American people down so bad that everything that's good for us, we say it's a scam. Every great revolutionary that comes to us and that is providing programs and solutions for our ills, we say something wrong with him. I don't believe him. I don't like him. He's a lie. That's what we do. See, they have dumbed us down. Well, somebody can go and get a job at McDonald's and post it and get all kind of likes, all kind of comments. Congratulations! Congratulations! But then somebody say, hey, I just started an online business. Come build with me. He won't get one like. He won't get one like. See, that's a dumbed down scenario. See, the enemy knows this. You just don't know it. But we're going to expose this enemy at all costs. So we got a few books that you can go get that'll help raise your economic IQ and also help you get an understanding on this debt clock and the ones who got the dollar monopolized. So you can go and get this book right here, the #1 book that I recommend, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, right? The Secret Relationship Between Volume 2. And then we have another one. Now, if you are white or Jewish on the line, this is not a knock to you. You probably don't fully understand what your ancestors and the founding fathers of America have set up. Because you pretty much just like one of us. You just a normal citizen. So this system wreaks havoc in the poor white community as well. You're not part of the elite families, right? It wreaks havoc on you too. Then we have another book titled The Untold Story, How White Folks Got So Rich, The Untold Story of White Supremacy. You can go to store.finalcall.com and get those books right there. Good investment, right? That's right, Richard James. That's right. Poor mindset. So we do this to expose this. The country is $28,686 billion in debt. They would never pay it back. Now, the Federal Reserve along with the IRS, was set up in the same year. The Federal Reserve is not the federal government, but they print the dollar. And they got 12 branches out through America. Some of your major cities, and the majority, well, I'm going to show y'all another trick too. The majority places where it's a branch of the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve has a board, and they have a chairman. The chairman today is Powell, Jerome Powell, I think, right? He the chairman, but he really ain't in control. He really not, right? So he's controlled by the international bankers who don't have a face, have a name. Nobody knows who they are. We know they're alive, but we don't specifically know, can point them out, because there was a group of elite families, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, the Rothschild, the Warburns. They was in the construction of the Federal Reserve. So that been so many years ago, it's hard to find somebody that has a last name Rothschild now, but they might have married on to another Jewish family, changed the name so they can stay in disguise. It's all a trick, right? So check this out. Where every major city where there's a Federal Reserve branch at, the police brutality is high. Let's name, I'm going to just name a few off the top of my head. Matter of fact, let's just go to Google and find it. 12 branches of the Federal Reserve. I'm going to pull it up. We're going to go them all by name. We're going to go deep today. We're going to go deep today. So I'm going to pull this up. It's 12, and there are 24 branches. Jerome Powell, he's the chairman of the board, right? I was right on by that. Okay. Let me make sure I get him. Okay. It don't look like 12. I'm going to make sure I get them, because I want y'all to see and hear these cities where we at, so we can understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I say 12 branches, but they only showing me 8. I want y'all to check this out. Major poverty, homelessness going on, but this is where the Federal Reserve branch is at. Hold up. Let me go back. I'm going to go to the first one. All right, because I want y'all to get this, family. This is deep. So let's go over. I got it now. I got it now. So hold up and make sure you get this YouTube video and share this video out, because we need to see this. We need to see this. We need to go over this. Share this out with everybody you know, because it's deep, that it's very significant that we get an understanding. It's for everybody. Everybody needs to get an understanding about this banking system. Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. So you can go and just Google this stuff. They ain't hiding it. They just know you don't understand it. The Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, provide the nation with a safe. Listen at this. Oh my goodness. Look at these scams. They mocking us everywhere, every step of the way. This is mockery. The Federal Reserve, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States provides the nation with a safe, flexible, and stable monetary and financial system. Wow. If that can't be more than a lie, that's one of the biggest jokes that we ever had. See, that's how you know it's a scam, because they lying about what the hell they do. So let's look at the branches. Here go all 12 of them right here. We got them. Boston. What's going on in Boston? Do you got crooked police? I mean, just terrible stuff going on in Boston with the police force? Absolutely. All these cities here were trained by who? The Israelis. Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Cleveland, Richmond, Virginia, Atlanta, Chicago, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Dallas, San Francisco. Who all remember major police brutalities going on in all these cities here? Right? All these cities got a homeless problem, drug problem. And this is where the Federal Reserve branches are at. In these states here. See, they all set up in regions because the one in Atlanta, it said the one in Atlanta run, their region is what? Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, part of Mississippi, and part of Louisiana. See, they all set up in regions. Then you got the 1/9 one. What's that? Minneapolis. Run all of this up here in the Midwest. Up top. 10, Kansas City. Run all of this right here. Then you got San Francisco run all of this on the West Coast. See, they got it carved up. Then you got 11, Texas. Run part of, what is that? Arizona or New Mexico. Right? And part of Louisiana. St. Louis. Run parts of Tennessee, parts of Mississippi. Going on up. See, this thing, they got this thing carved out. They done carved out the country on these foreign with this debt system. Wow, family, this is deep. Then they have Federal Open Market Committee where they talk about certain things. Now, the Federal Reserve is buying, you know what I'm saying? The Federal Reserve is buying $120 billion worth of assets per month. $120 billion worth of assets per month. That's what they're doing with the taxpayers' money. Because we paying taxes to them every month. And they taking it and buying what? Mortgage-backed securities and treasury securities, treasury bonds. Yeah, we got streams about it. We did a couple months ago. I think we end up doing 2. This thing is deep, family. This thing is a big scam. And they have carved up the whole United States with the banking system. So all the major banks in America, all the credit unions get funding from their Federal Reserve. All of them. The cash flows through the Federal Reserve, through the central banks. We got to connect the dots. But they have to be exposed. Why? Because we still go to work and do everything for dollars. That's their number one trick. Their number one tool to keep us enslaved is the dollar. They got the whole, look at the country, they got the whole country carved up. They got the whole country carved up. And the head of the Federal Reserve, the board, is in Washington, D.C. That's the head. But they run the country through these branches. So when these treasury bonds come out, they come from the United States Treasury. They give them to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, through their branches, issue out the bonds and the cash to the banks. The banks bid on the bonds. When y'all hear these banks buying stocks and stock sell-off, that's what they're doing. They're buying the bonds that we have to pay the debt on. In the Federal Reserve, they taking $120 billion a month. That's $1.2 trillion a year, and they buying up all the foreclosed homes, all those mortgages that they selling. They buying them all back. So they try to tell you Bill Gates owned the most real estate in America. That's a damn lie. The Federal Reserve owned the most real estate in America, family. Yes. The international bankers, family, wake the hell up. right? So listen, they do that. They own that. So they buying that and they buying treasury bonds. It's 80-40. $80 billion of the treasury bonds and $40 billion of the mortgage-backed security. Billion a month. Why does America have a homeless problem? Why people can't make decent wages when the banking system, the central banking system of America, can spend $120 billion to fatten up their portfolios? Y'all don't see this scam, man. This is the biggest scam ever put on the American people. This is it right here. And it don't matter what religion you are, what race you are. If you in America, here go the scam. Here go the real pyramid scheme right here. People want to say everything's a scam. That's because they know how to control information, trends, the public school system. They know how to control this. So, brother, why they don't shut you down? Why they don't shut? They took on Mr. Louis Farrakhan off social media, right? We do know that. They took him on YouTube. They took him on Facebook and Instagram. And they just suspend his Twitter account and then they let it up. You know what I'm saying? Twitter don't know what they want to do with the minister, right? So that's why. Well, why they ain't shut down Mike Maloney? Why they ain't shut down Robert Kiyosaki, Peter Schiff? Because they know y'all ain't listening. They got enough confidence in what they done told us over the years that you will go and listen to Robert Kiyosaki talk about this, listen to Peter Schiff talk about this, and still won't be able to find a way out of it. Why? Because Robert Kiyosaki, Peter Schiff, they just can point you in the right direction, but they don't have a system to challenge this. So let them do what they do. Mike Maloney, they don't have a system where you can get gold. Yeah, that's one form on how to get out of it, but you ain't getting gold in a system. So they don't care about that. You still don't challenge them, and it ain't enough gold to go around. And they know you ain't got enough patience to hold your gold till it becomes the new medium of exchange. You'll get gold today, you want to sell it tomorrow. They know that. You sell it right back to them. They'll get it back. So they think. But they are terrified of this blockchain technology. They terrified. But what they're going to do, you know what they're going to do? They're going to speed up the print press. So they're going to go in QE, which is quantitative easing, meaning they're going to print more money. They're going to print the dollar to obliteration. They're not going to slow down. Why? Because they getting up all the assets. Listen, family, they spending $40 billion in getting mortgage-backed securities. That's real estate. This is what they doing with the dollar, so they got to keep the game going on because they keep getting paid from the taxpayers and the corporations. That's why they bless the corporations so heavy. It's all a game. From the politicians, from the United States Treasury, all the way to the Federal Reserve, to your local credit union. All a scam. But family, we got to get off of here. So thank y'all. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forward Money, and follow us everywhere we go. Every time we do this, family, get this video from our YouTube channel, share it out, text it out with everybody you know. Our people need to be awakened to this real scam. We out of here, family.